Hello folks. Welcome to our new video. Today we have post, what are some disturbing facts about space? Be sure you subscribe and like a video. Let's quick jump into Reddit. What are some disturbing facts about space? There are voids in the universe that are so big that if you were teleported to the center with a spacesuit on, you would just see pitch darkness in all directions. Would you even call that seeing? For some reason my imagination lead me to believe that you would be able to see your body, but in reality you'd be enveloped in darkness. You wouldn't be able to see your hand in front of your face. The farthest galaxy we can detect was 13.4 billion light-years away when it emitted the light we see today. That light, not the galaxy, the light itself, is 3 times as old as the Earth. Damn. That means the Earth doesn't exist for the farthest galaxy yet. That's crazy. Light-years is always my fave go-to-space thing. The fact that this infinite, mind-bogglingly huge world is so big that what we see at night isn't technically true. Just images of where things used to be. That we, as a planet, are literally flying through space. I don't just mean around the sun, because our solar system is flying through space as well, along with our galaxy too. Where Earth was 1 minute ago is a point in space that we will never return to. Dinosaurs lived on the other side of the galaxy. I was curious and looked it up, and this checks out. It takes the sun 240 million years to complete an orbit around the galaxy, and dinosaurs first appeared out 245 million years ago. Oh, we have completed a little over 1 lap around the galaxy since dinosaurs first showed up. That's a good one. I'm still waiting for a time travel movie that takes into account they'd have to use spaceflight to either reach the point in space where Earth was in the past or will be in the future to make it work. Like in Back to the Future, with Earth traveling 18.5 miles per second, Doc's first 1-minute test would have sent his dog and the car 1,110 miles away, likely reappearing either within the Earth itself or in space. This is taken into consideration in a comic book called Paper Girls, by Brian K. Vaughan. Great read. IMO. Came here to say this. Time travel would make you a fixed point in space, but space itself doesn't even stay still. The only somewhat viable alternative is to use a wormhole or similar bridge to move to a parallel universe that happens to be running ahead/behind our own and hope you've calculated accurately enough to at least land on a habitable planet. The reality is that time and space are actually intertwined. There is no such thing as a fixed point in space. The notion comes from our wrong perspective ingrained on us by essentially being too small. Not in special relativity, but in general relativity. Thanks to the expansion of the universe, there is a reasonably unique concept of a global space reference frame, specifically that one where the cosmic microwave background radiation looks the same in all directions. We can tell our galaxy is moving through space because the CMB is redshifted in one direction and blueshifted in the other. Here's one closer to home. The Kessler effect is the theory that a single destructive event in low Earth orbit could create a cascade where satellites break up into tiny fragments, taking out other satellites, breaking up into smaller fragments, and so on, until the Earth is completely surrounded by a massive cloud of tiny flying death shrapnel, which would make leaving this planet almost impossible. If you look up how much space debris there is already up there and how many satellites currently or plus the continued growth of the commercial space industry, I think about it a lot. I once had a job where I would track particular satellites. The system I used tracked all satellites as well as larger space debris. Even 20 years ago, there was an impressive, actually kind of distressing, amount of space junk up there. Space is really big and there's lots of room up there, but even tiny flecks of paint can cause real damage and cause more space junk. One of our faith pastimes while deployed was to come up with inventive ways to remove the debris. My idea was a satellite with a long magnetic tail that would attract space junk. My theory, as a non-engineer, was that once it collected enough junk it would become too heavy and fall back to Earth with most of the stuff burning up in the atmosphere. My buddy pointed out that if we were depending on loss of inertia as a return method, then there would be no control over where the unburned parts would land. That, obviously, is bad. You could get a decent enough idea and have a few spare orbits to make a small thruster burn to slap it in the Pacific. No, all possibly, yes. But we also wanted to recover and reuse/recycle as much as possible. Basically become space junk pirates. We were gonna be millionaires. LOL, you are without a doubt the worst space pirate I've ever heard of. But you have heard of me. Proudly rides junk ship to dock while the airlock vents and the reactor overloads. Somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known. Carl Sagan. This is unquestionably true, but not only that, we are ourselves the incredible thing waiting to be known for someone else. Sneezes into my hand, wipes it on my shirt, far out, man. And we may never witness it. There is no shortage of incredible things to be known within an arm's length of wherever you are, lol. We may have gotten all the big, easy ones on this planet, but they aren't exactly finite. To see a world in a grain of sand, and a heaven in a wild flower, hold infinity in the palm of your hand, and eternity in an hour. William Blake. Rogue planets, such objects have been ejected from the planetary system in which they were formed or have never been gravitationally bound to any star or brown dwarf. If a rogue planet invade our solar system, things could go very wrong. Thankfully, the inner solar system is a pitifully small target compared to the distances between stars. Rogue planets are cool. I like to think about rogue planets and supervoids. Imagine a catastrophe that hurls a planet into space. The civilization is of course wiped out and the planet floats for millions of years into the void where it becomes a cold dead world with the ruins of a civilization floating in an absolute darkness. Time-lapse of the future sends me into an existential crisis every time. I never knew true existential dread until I watched that video a few years back. The ending really gets to me. Even though I'd never know it's happening, I'm still hoping for an oscillating universe. After seeing how far into the future it goes, then bam. Time is meaningless, just fucking hits you. That's one of my favorite YouTube videos, and it actually helped me gain more self-confidence in my life, especially the last 4 minutes or so of the video. Just the idea that everything will be gone and there won't even be a chance of anyone remembering anything stupid I've done, so why would I be afraid of talking to a woman or applying for a job I'm not totally qualified for? We'll never be able to discover it all. Even if we could travel at the speed of light, we would never colonize anything more than a few nearby solar systems and explore a few farther out. 4 to 10 years to travel to the closest stars, traveling at light speed, seems manageable, but when you realize it will take over 100.000 years to cross our galaxy and 2.5 million years just to go to the nearest galaxy, Andromeda, your hopes get shattered. I truly don't believe most of us are capable of comprehending the vastness of space and the distance between things. Douglas Adams engages in this concept when he put the total perspective vortex in The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. The machine was originally created by its inventor Trin Tragula as a way to get back at his wife. She was always telling him to get a sense of proportion, so he showed her the vortex. Tragula was horrified to learn he had destroyed her mind, even as he proved his point that if life was going to live in such a vast universe, one thing it could not afford to have was a sense of perspective. I love that Zaphod comes out unfazed. I believe you later learn it was a fake version designed for him, but still. Exactly that. The book clarifies that the only reason he survives is because he was in a virtual universe that had been designed explicitly for him, making him the most important thing in that universe. He never would have survived the real one. Space is big. You just won't believe how vastly, hugely, mind-bogglingly big it is. I mean, you may think it's a long way down the road to the chemists, but that's just peanuts to space. Whoa, I believe we will never know the whole truth about space. If you enjoyed in this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. See ya!